let's move back to the first segment of the show where we talked about what was going on with sort of the woke public school teachers and how we've been working at this, not for the last few months, not for the last few years, for the last 30 plus years. And Carolyn, you're on the air.
Hi, Logan. Okay, so this story goes back to the 90s.
A better time.
We got. Wait, well, you said that you've been doing it for 30 years. I can vouch for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got into trouble with our high school over a bylaw that we had permission to have. The principal walked into the meeting, said, "Break it up. Do not do this again, or we will suspend you." I went home, told my grandparents what happened. They reached out to ACLJ, which I will say this: back in the 90s, Jay Sekulow was it. You did not have a ton of choices in terms of places to go if you had that kind of a problem.
Absolutely.
Anyway, they reached out to ACLJ. The ACLJ got involved. The school backed off. What I wanted to tell the audience is don't be afraid to ask ACLJ for help if you see this stuff happening with your school. Logan's not just saying that. They don't charge for their services, and they are willing to help. If it's something where there is actually an issue, they are willing to help.
Thank you so much, Carolyn, for giving your firsthand response, and we appreciate your support over the years as well. Obviously, we personally appreciate all the work that you've done. And when you have something like this, when you do go back 15, 20 years with now people who are adults, who are kids, and they're seeing the issues. And the problem is a lot of these things, like you said, she had a Bible study. We were able to take care of it then because it was already even settled law 15 years ago. Why? Because we took it to the Supreme Court in the early 90s.
Because your dad won the case.
Right.
Right.
Won the case in the early 90s. But still, 30 years later, that was like 91. 30 years later, maybe not quite 91, but early 90s, we are able to look at it, and there's still uninformed people who are running these schools who need to be taught the facts of what the law is, because this is all settled law.